Oh, it is gorgeous, gorgeous to see you guys. Hello, hello, hello. Yes, we're here. We're here. This is the 18th of September, 2022. It's been a while since we had a conversation. It's been a while since you and I have been on screen, uh, across the screens like this. Good morning. Excuse me, I've been a bit agita, but you'll understand why in a moment. Things have changed on my side, and it's increasingly challenging. Uh, Honor commitments. Preview was, preview. We'll talk about it. But we're here. We got a lot to talk about. I mean, a lot of things have been happening in Haiti, good and bad, uh, especially most recently, mostly bad. We're going to be talking about that, and just this time it's no guests, just you and I chatting because we got to talk about it, and we got to talk about how we move forward, Um, uh, given that this seems to be cyclical, right? But anyways, I already want to get it. I already want to start talking about it. So I was on. Let me peel back. You already know it's one man show here on the live, so I got to go ahead and put you guys get some very nice looking stuff going for you as I take care of the background and get the show going. So I'll be back in about 2 minutes. Welcome, SeeJeanty live show. We're here. We're going to be having a conversation. And as I do things in the background, please share the live on your side. Share the live on your side. Drop a comment. It's a conversation that we're having. It's a conversation we're looking to have. So I'll be reading it on the live. So again, we'll be right back. And we're live. We're live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, IG. I need to get my TikTok. I need to get an extra phone or something for my TikTok, get my TikTok game up. We're live on a bunch of mediums right now. I want to say a happy good morning on this 18th of September, Sunday. Got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to talk about. Haiti tête en bas. Haiti tête en bas, messieurs, dames. And we got a lot to talk about. And as per usual, we try to do this monthly show. Once upon a time, we were every day. Remember those golden ages? My real OGs are in here that remembers when we were doing this every single day, you know. But now we do this once a month. We just touch base, lightly tap, right? And it's critical, especially right now, given everything that's going on in the country. We have a deep conversation we need to have. So I need you guys to stay tuned. I'm gonna very quickly do our usual top of the show stuff, so we can start this conversation right away. You know, it's important we start this conversation right away. So let's just knock out these stuff real quick. So first off, nous faisons mission ça en anglais spécifiquement parce que les bagues l'autre côté et qui existait dans social media, dans YouTube, Facebook, tout ça. Qui a parlé des topics ça yo, qui a parlé yo, non gens qui a dit tout le monde internationalement on fait ça au monde et qu'à comprendre parce que normalement ça c'est normal que nous parler de ça yo, nous parler entre amis nous, entre famille nous et radio yo et qu'on a barbershop, l'église. Tout côté nous parler topic ça nous parler mais il y a un problème que en nous en langage nous parler nous comprendre mais l'autre moun yo qui a un gros effet parce que on chita dit comme haïtien ou chita ou chita mais même si c'est Haïti ou même si c'est l'autre boye pour dire que a fait garder l'autre moun yo même dans langage qui me préféré a fait garder l'autre moun mais tout à l'heure, c'est Nations Unies qui va mettre pied au sous-sol nous. Tout à l'heure, c'est ONG qui va renvoyer pi mal toujours par rapport à tout bail qui a fait aujourd'hui. Tout à l'heure, et c'est investeur qui était peut-être qu'à venir pour mettre l'économie en ligne d'avancement qui pas venir parce que yo va comprendre la situation. You have regardé CNN, you have regardé Fox News, you have regardé Vice News, you have regardé vieux YouTuber qui a venu dans le pays, de Christmas List, donc Indigo Traveler, qui a venu, qui a cherché pas plus mal pour exposer. C'est nous-mêmes qui a critiqué comme haïtien, qui a essayé d'expliquer bagay yo. Nous va critiquer pour dire ça, mais c'est ça, ça blanc dit là. Ben, mon cher, faut haïtien, bon, dans le créole. Bon, commence mission. Pour me dire, je ne parler bien, même là, ok, il y a accent, ok, whatever, maka, j'ai plus que 18 ans, travail 10 pour blanc, payer, langage ça, accès à j'aime quitter, but, est-ce que vocabulaire créole là avec bien sûr, est-ce qu'il me déca faire mission net en créole, bien sûr, même décider, me faire en anglais parce que nous avons une responsabilité pour les mondes comprendre. Les mondes comprennent. C'est ça que je dis depuis 1804 Haïti a un problème d'incompréhension des les hommes internationaux de nous. C'est un problème. Bon, regardez bien toujours même dans nous mal comprendre nous, but ça c'est notre topic net. Let's go live. There's a quick disclaimer, guys, just to say, you know, we do the show in English. Because it's a responsibility. We have to control our narrative at the end of the day. It's really important to folks to understand what Haiti is and who Haiti is. And we do this specifically so there is a place where, you know, I don't see it. I don't see conversations happen that way. Like we have every month, heck, every episode we drop in English anywhere. Whoa, I'm going to drop my coffee. Anywhere online. And it's a problem. Right. And I always say the day that someone else is doing it in English and I can speak Creole, it's going to be a glorious day. You guys just need to send me that link. Oh, there's this new guy over here. His name's Jean-Claude Pierre, and he does this thing in English. His exposition today. He's doing your show basically. I must congratulate him. I'm gonna send him y'all, send him his way, or send him y'all way. Send him the link so you guys can go join him, and I can do this. I would nothing more than love to do it, but we have a responsibility so the international world can have an understanding of what's going on, right? So that's the Creole piece. Per usual, I just wanted to let you guys know, this is for you guys who are watching on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. The book is out. 101 Ways to Make Money in Haiti, Lucrative Business Ideas, Insightful Success Stories, and Interesting Business Opportunities for Visionary Entrepreneurs. Yes, that's right. For those who don't know, your boy's an author. It took me a year and a half to write this thing. That's on Amazon. It's rocking. Lots of reviews so far, very solidly in near the 5-star category. Could be still 5 stars still. So please go check out that book if you haven't checked it out yet. It's more important than ever in a time like this that we triple down on investing. Believe it or not, and we'll have a much bigger conversation. But at the end of the day, when you see so many folks in the streets right now, because there's no jobs, I can tell you the folks who work for me, right? 100%. They're all trying to get to work. when you see when you see on CNN and et cetera, you see tires burning and massive folks, in the streets with the little broken half branches and right. My guys are trying. Every single one of my guys who are employed are trying to get to work. They're not participating in this. They're trying to get to work. It's an issue of lack of jobs. It's plain and simple, point blank, right? And when I see stuff like this, I wish I had a spare million. I wish I had a spare 5 million, 10 million for me to put in the country and put more of these folks to work. Anyways, 101 ways to make money in Haiti. And you don't need 5 million, 1 million, just a couple $100 maybe, and a good idea will get any one of these businesses going. So check out the book. It's on Amazon, SeeJeanty.com/shop. It'll take you to the Amazon link. All right. For those who in between our very long conversations, between our conversations, who want to keep up the imagery and the encouragement and understanding what's happening in the country on a level that's deeper than mainstream media, I encourage you to join our Facebook group, SeeJeanty Action Group, facebook.com. And then just type in SeeJeanty Action Group. I encourage you to go there. I'm very pleased in terms of the folks and how we're sharing and how we're keeping that piece of going. And again, it's community led. So please join that to keep that going. Additionally, private WhatsApp group. That's something where I'm personally involved in, and we have over 30, 40, almost pushing 40 folks in there. And the conversations are deep, impactful, meaningful. Not everyone, it's not an echo chamber, right? We have folks who feel strongly on one side, we have folks strongly on another side. What's great about our community is folks can express themselves, express those ideas, and I truly feel each person is listening and each person is trying to, find that happy medium. And that's one issue that Haitian society has done a very poor job of. We haven't found that good happy medium too often. And the action group, the WhatsApp group is there. And what's really great about the WhatsApp group, it supports what we're doing here, right? We have, just mentioned, I got employees, especially on the media group. We have 2 full-time videographers. And of course, when we go out, for example, just like OPAP series, there's expenses. And quite frankly, I wouldn't have been able to do it if it wasn't for the participation of the folks in the WhatsApp group that are providing a monthly amount that helps with those expenses, that helps keep the videographer team employed, paid, salaried, because the YouTube algorithms have not been so kind of late, and it's been great to have that steady bit of income. So again, you join a group, you get a lot of resources. I'm in there full time. I'm in there, right? For those who had questions for me, wanted to get a piece of my thought and perspective and resources in terms of helping assist whatever you're trying to do, please consider joining the WhatsApp group, SeeJeanty.com private WhatsApp group, one word, and look forward to seeing you in there, right? Also, of course, hyprodistribution.com. We're always looking for new folks to purchase, wholesalers, etc. Reach out. You know, we're doing lights out personally. I feel bad for those who missed the chance to invest, quite frankly. Right. We're pushing 2 containers full of product each month. We're at 45-foot container level each month. And that's a poor month is when we do 2 containers. We're quite frankly looking to do 3, 4 each month. So meaning we have stock. You know, you can buy a lot of our products on Amazon right now. And again, that's the thing. You know, that's one thing you guys need to understand here is that I'm not just some guy talking, right? And there's a lot of guys online who talk, right? And that's one thing I kind of annoys me about what I'm doing right now, because I dislike those guys so much, right? You have these guys who just get on and get these political rants and blah, 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 blah. Understand, one reason why I only do this one time a month, is I'm too busy doing, guys, right? I'm too busy doing. We're on the ground here. No matter what's going on, we're on the ground. We're and we're laser focused on doing it the right way by employing folks directly for their capacity and by getting our products out to the world, right? And of course, controlling our imagery to the world, right? And the hybrid distribution is a vehicle that's been allowing me to do really the biggest level of impact, which is, getting quality products like cassava, like lalo, like seal miel, like coffee, out of the other country and getting them to stores and markets here. So do visit hybriddistribution.com if you're interested in partnering and buying our products at a wholesale price to where you are, because we're looking to expand across America. Right now, we're solidly in South Florida, but if you're somewhere else, want to get some of our products, send a message. We'll talk, right? And by the way, folks have been asking for Jonjon for me for a while. I'm going to have a good amount of stock of Jonjon. So those who are looking and haven't responded that I have stock, message me. I got it. Oh, and by the way, guys, I'm going to be in the first week of October 2nd. Let's look at the dates here. Friday, September 30th, October 1st, and October 2nd. There's a week in Haiti. It's a really important conference that's going to be happening in Washington, D.C. A lot of thought leaders, business leaders who are going to be there, really to push the sort of conversations we have here online. We'll be having them in a form where the goal is to network, is to connect, to grow. So make sure if you're interested in being in a genuinely safe space, especially at a troubling time right now, I encourage you guys to go ahead and check out. It's called, for those who are on Instagram right now, www.aweekonhaiti, right? One word, aweekonhaiti.com, right? And then you'll see the tickets and you can get your tickets to be involved. And I hope to see you. I believe there is going to be an online component to it. So do check that out. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I do apologize, but I'm pretty sure there is. So I'm going to be on there. We're going to have a stimulating conversation. My topic, by the way, let me go ahead and pull that topic up. A little controversial. Had some folks hit me up when they saw my post on it, trying to challenge me a little bit. But just know it's kind of a headline grabber on purpose, clickbaitish. Okay, I get it, but it doesn't take away from the fact that there's folks who've been doing business in Haiti for a very long time and will continue to be doing business for a very long time. But yet, despite everything that's happening, they found a secret sauce. So really the point of the conversation is to find what is that secret sauce that allows folks to continue to operate in Haiti despite the incredible challenges. And we need, I have some insights that I want to share, because Haiti only changes when, despite whatever's going on, despite all the negative political actors who want Haiti to stay in the filth and minutia that's currently in, we have enough folks who are successful and then can push through and get to where Haiti needs to get to, right? So the topic is this diaspora investment strategies, how to guarantee your business venture will win in Haiti. I'm gonna say it again. Diaspora investment strategies, how to guarantee your business venture will win in Haiti, right? Coming from a guy who thus far has opened 4 different businesses, and each business has been profitable within a few months. And I have not failed. Knock on wood. Right? That's the first thing you want to listen to someone who's giving, depending on the topic. At first, bro, have you failed? I have not failed. Right? So that's number one. Number two, to create that book. I remember I mentioned I have a book, 100 Ways to Make Money in Haiti. I had to interview countless entrepreneurs, some who were very successful, some who have not been successful, right? And by piecing together my experiences and the experiences of the entrepreneurs I had the great opportunity to meet. A lot of these folks are on SeeJeanty Media through features, right? I've been able to parse through some of the winning elements. And we're going to talk about that at A Week in Haiti. So those interested and those, take a look. You see a lot of big superstar names. We're going to be there. I do encourage you to check out and be part of A Week on Haiti. Okay. All right. So that's the top of the hour stuff. I want to welcome everyone into the live. I want to just go through the comments real quick. Say what's up to folks. We got Jose Almilda. How you doing? We got Recession Proof. Do you still have hope for Haiti? Short answer is yes. We're going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about why. Marie's in the house, right? Bird eye view of Haiti was the star at my job's words today. Blown word. I didn't know Haiti was so beautiful. It brought memories of Haitians that left the country. Okay, there you go. Thank you, Miley. Thank you that our video is accomplishing something that it needs to accomplish, which is to show there is a deeper element, a deeper side of our country, and we have to be reminded. And to know that the only way forward is to recognize that, and then move towards a space where Haiti works for every Haitian. Haiti needs to work for every Haitian. Okay. We got EC Ila. Do you recommend solo traveling to OCOP? Absolutely. No, I even hesitate. Absolutely. Even right now, with all the difficulties, OCOP is a unique bubble. I absolutely would recommend it. There's other places I wouldn't. Definitely not Port-au-Prince. Not solo travel. I mean, let me back up. Understand how I understand solo travel. Solo travel is you literally wake up one morning, you say, where do I want to go today? And you pull up your JetBlue and you say, oh, wow, there's a great deal on OCOP, for example, right? Okay, let me book it. You don't know nothing, nobody. On the drive to in your Lyft or your Uber, you look up an Airbnb. Oh, this Airbnb looks cool. Boom, you press the button, you book it on the trip, and then you fly in. No, nobody. Get out, go to the airport. Get out the airport, grab a taxi, and then boom. You know what I mean? Like you don't know nothing. I think you can do that on OCOP. I think you can, right? And there's a few other cities potentially that you could. And OCOP, and the reason why you can do it in OCOP is because there is international flight directly into Cap Haitien, right? Every other city, you'd have to fly to Port-au-Prince, right? I mean, Jacmel is fantastic. If you can just teleport to Jacmel, I'd say yeah, Jacmel is a solo travel city, right? But you can't. You got to go through Port-au-Prince, and that's why I wouldn't recommend Jacmel for solo travel. In the way I define solo travel, right? There's a lot more logistics involved, right? To where you got to do some research, got to make some phone calls, got to ask a few friends, right? You got to do some research. You can't just blindly pick up a plane ticket and go, right? But the day that Jacmel has an international airport, the day that Jeremy has an international airport, the day that Okai has an international airport, I'm going to say all those cities as well, you can solo travel, right? Because the problem of Haiti is a problem of Port-au-Prince. All right. Great. Thanks for that question, ECLI. Great question. Thank you. And welcome to the live. Hi, guys. What's up? Oh, of course. That's one of the things I forgot to mention at the top of the live. That's right. Your boy is now a father. That's right. Your boy is now a father. I know those who are watching the other lives, I didn't mention, baby registry. Oh, by the way, thank you for those who responded. I didn't even realize how many folks really did respond until I started looking through the gifts, and because the gifts, they usually tell you who bought it, and oh wow, that's one of my dudes from the live. Oh, that's one of my dudes, my commenters from the Oh man, I appreciate it. Listen, even if I can't figure out a way to directly message you to thank you, just if you're watching this right now and you bought something for the baby registry, I want to thank you very much. Received, much appreciated. And baby Olivia appreciates it. And that's the only reason, probably, you can see some bags under the eyes here, guys. And that's why the coffee is really close. Wendy's coffee. Wendy's does breakfast now, guys. Wendy's does coffee now. I mean, breakfast. Let me sip on this. Yeah, baby Olivia has been keeping myself and my wife up. But it's a blessing. It's a good feeling. And out of 24 hours, 20 hours, it's nothing but love. 4 hours just keeping me up. It's a mix of emotions, but the other 20 hours is nothing but love. So thank you for that, hey guys, and thank you for everyone who wished me, my wife, my family, congratulations. I want to thank you. And again, the babe was crazy is she wasn't supposed to come out until next month, all right? But she came a full month early, and I say it's because she wanted to be a Virgo like her daddy, and I always wanted a Virgo kid, and I really, really wanted my first kid to be a Virgo, right? Yes, guys, I'm sorry. I believe in the astrology. Hate me if you want. Okay. Unsubscribe if you want. Okay, that's your problem. But yes, I believe in the astrologies and the connections because I've seen it. Everyone who's close to me, all my good friends, there are only two signs that are close to me: Virgos and Cancers. That's it. Period. Point blank. Only people I can understand, I can do business with, I can hang out with. Point blank blush. And it's not that I'm looking for them. I just, after years of hanging out with them, I'll say, hey, by the way, what are you? And they go, oh, I'm a Virgo. Get out of here. Again, another one. I'll go, what are you? A Cancer. Oh, snap. So yes, I'm forced. I've been forced to become an astrology believer, just like most Haitians become forced to believe in Tiz, right? Because we go to school, science says one thing, Blanc says one thing, and then that one time you're sick, you go to the hospital, they give you x-rays and comprimes and pills and all this different stuff, right? And you can't, and your douleur, that pain that you have wherever in your body can't be touched. You're hurting, you're just suffering, right? For too long. And then by chance you go to Haiti. By chance you just mention to anyone, anyway, your cousin, a family member, guy off the street, you say, hey, Bob, I'm having this pain right here, and I've been to the doctor, can't do nothing. And the guy looks at you and says, what? We got a tea for that. And you go, what? My doctor, the white people said, the blondes said, my school system said, medical science said, John Hopkins said, it's unsolvable. Haitian goes, what? Oh, hold on, I got something for you. I give you 2 days. 2 days. Here, take this tea. 2 days, you're good. You go, okay, all right. You sip that instantly. Boom. What is it? Boom. Oh, pop. You hear pop. Boom. Oh, what? Oh, what's going on? Oh, boom, boom, bam. And within a very short time, you're cured. All right? It's an analogy, guys. I'm building something. Follow me. It's happened to me, right? I didn't believe it until I experienced it, where I was experiencing a medical crisis for a long time. And in my case, it was a very bad bout of, I guess, intestine. I can't describe it, because medical science couldn't even tell me what was wrong with me. Went to Haiti, got some teas, boom, done. And to this day, I'm good, right? That made me a believer, that experience, right? And that's why I believe in astrology, because it's not that I'm looking to. I just opened I just experienced it, right? But anyhow, so that's why I'm extremely delighted that my first child is a Virgo. I can't be so happy. All right. So anyhow, hey guys, it says, oh yeah, we're gonna be talking about Untitled Chapter. Don't you worry about that. We're gonna be talking about him. Don't you worry about that. Right. Bella Lewis, good morning. We're gonna be talking about it. I haven't lost hope. Okay, but we're gonna talk about it. I'm gonna tell you why. We got Don St. Mark in the house. What's up? And appreciate it, man. Thank you for what's that word? Validation, the validation of the WhatsApp group. Thank you, brother. And happy to have you in there. Wilnick Delnor Esquire. Whew, that is a lawyer right there, man. That's a lawyer's name right there. Welcome, man. What products you have on Amazon? It's so go to the website, go to the product section, and everything that you see there will have a link to Amazon, right? So you'll see it. There'll be a button that says buy on Amazon, buy on Etsy, buy on Amazon preferably, because it doesn't have anybody in the office who do work. It's already set to Amazon FBA, right? So it's on it. So just go to hybriddistribution.com and you see it. All right. We got Amos. Them Haitians need to be more patriotic and protect a little bit of what they love. So Amos Our Change in the house. Hello. Happy to have you. We have Thoughts and Improved Civilization Mission in Haiti. We're going to talk about it. I've got Lola 11 in the house. What's up? We got LM in the house. Always happy to see you in the chat. Veteran commenter. Definitely happy to have you. We got Gillen R in the house. Jamaica's in the house. Can you please do more constructive construction projects in Haiti? Yeah, I mean, certainly that's one of the things I love to do. In fact, we're supposed to do a highlight. We haven't done a SeeJeanty real estate highlight in a while. We're supposed to do one this week, but I mean, I didn't schedule it. I was supposed to do it. I knew how busy my guys were in doing the OCOP series. I pushed it back to next week, but technically we're still producing them. We're still filming them, so don't worry. That's not gonna let up. We got Life Energy in the house. What's up? We got Leo Parisan in the house. What's up? We got Fridge Javal in the house. What's up? Fort Liberté is on the list, man. Trust me. It's on the list, brother. I cannot wait until we get out there and we're able to do it, right? So, Pierre J. Louis, what's up? In the house. What's up? We got Chantel B. What's up? In the house. We got Drew Oncho in the house. What's up? All right. We got Reginald Jean Bart in the house, right? And we got that guy in the house. What's up? And of course, I gotta give IG some love. IG's right here. You see the setup, guys. Let me go through real quick. Give IG some love. I appreciate the folks who are on IG. Want to make sure you guys are recognized in here. Sakap Fet. We got Jeanty DMC in the house. You got Vanessa Paradis in the house. I appreciate the kind words. Thank you so much. Thanks for watching. Hope you're subscribed and definitely do share. Let's see who else I can say what's up to. We got Big Belly FT in the house. What's up, man? What's up? Definitely happy to have you in the chat. We got Fronts Sulio. What's up? How you doing, man? Let's see who else we got. Noel 77. What's up? Let's see who else we got. Who else do we have? I'm just scrolling through what message I may have missed. Sephora in the house asking a very pertinent question. How do you keep businesses in Haiti with all those protests? We're going to talk about that. Actually. So stay tuned. If you're still in the chat, hope you don't stay tuned, and we're going to jump right into it very, very soon. Let's see who else in here. Who else I want to say what's up to? Let's see. I think that might be it. Not so easy to scroll on IG. Okay, I think that's it. And I got Pierre 7124 in the house as well. What's up, man? Happy to have you in the chat. Right. So, top of the hour stuff completed. Let's have a conversation. Excuse me. First thing to talk about is not what you want to hear about yet. We're going to go in chronological order. And chronological order is a month ago, my team, we were in Cap Haitien having one hell of a time. Quite frankly, probably the best time I've had in Haiti since moving to Haiti was the Cap Haitien recently, last month. Just that. I mean, it feels like a million years ago, given the current situation in Haiti. And I just want to talk about that real quick. You know, for those who've watched the first two episodes, we have a few more episodes in the vault. My media team wasn't able to get to our studio office this week, given the issues, so we weren't able to drop a new episode this weekend. Very frustrating, but still, you know, the two episodes we've dropped, you know, I do encourage you guys to go watch it. In fact, I think as I'm talking, I'm gonna let that play real quick as I'm talking. just so you guys can kind of get a sense of what that episode was, right? And it was really a blast. I mean, I quite frankly, to me, and I expressed this already, this is our first episode of Cop. I am so darn proud of it. I am so darn proud of that series because, quite frankly, our experiences in where we've done these projects before, where we've done these before, where went to Jockmail, went to Jeremy, went to Anzavo, right? Of course, we want to go to more. Those experiences. And by the way, those if you're watching on IG, please, I encourage you to go ahead and check out. In fact, let me try to do something for you. Can I turn this camera around? Oh, I can't. There we go. There we go. Boom. There we go. Help my IG folks out a little bit. Got to see what's being shown. What we learned and what we put together. We did our best to, distill the best elements that made those other series great, and we put in the Cop series, right? And if you haven't watched it yet, I encourage you to. If you haven't shared it yet, I encourage you to. And it's really important that we do that because right now we have a deluge of misery tourists. We have a deluge of misery tourists in the country who are really, doing balls out in terms of getting their perspective out at great harm to us, right? I don't even want to mention their names because I don't want to give them a single more view than they've gotten, right? But they're pushing 3 million views, 1 million views, going to, City Soleil, going into these, places and just looking for the worst, right? And I had one person who came up to me and said, Chris, man, what they're showing is important because if they didn't, no one would, right? And individually, like by itself, I agree. I agree that those stories of City Soleil, what's happening in City Soleil, those stories of what's happening in those areas need to be told. But number one, when you look at the fact that, listen, just listen, just Google search it, man. Yo, just Google search Haiti, and you'll see we don't lack for negative imagery. We don't lack for an understanding that folks in City Soleil are having a tough time. In right now, from 10 years ago, we don't lack in understanding that gangsters, for the most part, if given the choice of being given $1,000 gun or being given a job, they would have chosen a job, right? But they've been given a military grade gun that costs more than what they'll make in 5 lifetimes. They've been given that to them. They've been given guns. Each bullet is worth what they could make in 25 years in a life sentence, each bullet, right? Now, if they were given instead a job, right, they would have gladly chosen the job. We know this. We don't need exposition number 1,1256Z to tell us what we've known. What's going on here? Oh, I'm pressing that. Right? We don't need that, right? What we need is stories that go deeper. We need stories that go deeper in exploring our culture, exploring who we are, exploring ultimately where the progression is, right? That's what we need, right? We need that so the next generation of changers and movers, right, can see themselves in that change. That's what we need, right? One reason I didn't go into IT in a very early age, when I was in school, right? Because I didn't see anyone who looked like me, man. Straight up, Bill Gates doesn't look like me. Steve Jobs doesn't look like me, right? And so even though at a young age, I was running my dad's computer school. At a very young age, I had A+ certification. For those who are in IT know what I'm talking about. What that is. It's a pretty big deal, right? I was in IT very young, but when it came time to go to college, I was like, there's no black people in this. It's not a black people thing. I'm gonna go to something else. I've seen black economists, bankers and stuff, and quite frankly, I just wanted to understand the economy better for Haiti, so I could help be part of Haiti's change. So I went that way, right? And even though now I kind of circled back to IT in terms of career, right? But I would have gotten there sooner if I had saw people like me, and that's what is missing in the conversation is exactly how can people find themselves in the change that Haiti needs. That's what's missing right now. That's what's missing right now, right? In the conversation, in what's being put out, the misery tourism that's being put out, that's being missed, right? And quite frankly, it's not their job, though. Their job is to get clicks, get views. Negativity drives views. CNN, all that, it drives negativity, drives shares. We get it. It's human nature. It's fine. I'm not here to critique the game. Player doesn't hate the game, right? Game recognizes a game, but it's on us Haitians who care to try to produce it the right way, right? And I want to say that the OCOP series that you're watching right now that I have on screen, I hope that it's providing its piece in that narrative change, and it could do more. But I'm just challenging you guys who are watching this right now, especially. I have at least 54 folks on the live right now. I got 9 on the IG, right? I'm challenging you guys to share it. Just share it one time. Just one share. Share it to a friend, a buddy, another Haitian, someone from OCOP, co-worker. Share that video one time, right? I'll go ahead and put the link. Let me grab the link for you guys. Where's that share button? Here it is. Let me grab that link for you guys real quick. What's this? Here we go. Copy link, right? And I'll drop it in the chat here, just to get the view count up, right? Because I do say that it's not about the views, it's about the quality. It's about the few folks who are looking for this and who are able to find it. But this video in particular, which is really when you as an artist, and me and my team of videographers, this is to us, this is art. I mean, I agree, but this is art to us, and of course we want our art to be appreciated by as many people as possible. And so usually not about the views, but this one exception, let's get the view count up. Let's get the shares up, right? Let's get the piece right, especially right now with what's happening in Haiti. Let's get an understanding of how we can move forward, right? Because especially that's how this episode ends. I'm speaking with these young folks who have techno kids. This edge technology boot camp that's happening. That's teaching the next generation of young kids about technology and how to use it, and real like VR and coding and stuff, right? And the episode with Pastor Albert, who is creating jobs and creating opportunity by employing dozens at his businesses. There's a reason why I ended the episode that way, right? I start with the touristic stuff. I show you the Citadel. I show you the beach. Bet, I got to do that. You got to enjoy yourself when you're in Haiti. But guess what? I end it with substance, right? But yeah, OCOP was fantastic. I want to shout out to Dinner on Blanc. That episode's coming, by the way. I hope the Dinner on Blanc folks are like, well, Chris, we gave you press access. Where's our Dinner on Blanc? It's coming. It's coming. And you guys will get to see how Dinner on Blanc was, at the deeper dive level 4 episode on that. I mean, it's something that I could include it in this episode, in this initial episode. And I did give some tidbits of shots, but I thought it was really, Dinner on Blanc was so important and such a good thing for us. It had to be its own episode. So that's coming. Look out for it. Next episode, I really can't wait for the next episode for you guys to see. It's a farmer. It's a farmer episode, agriculture, and he has a chicken farm in OCOP. A guy from, where is he from? I forget. Is he California, Seattle? Forgive me if you're watching. Yeah, Nick, I forget where you're from. But it's going to be really great. I really look forward to sharing all the work that's being done on that farm as our next episode. But OCOP was fantastic, guys. Beyond my request to share it, I hope that it really impacted and did a good job. And over time, the views will get to where they need to. But at the end of the day, man, I do it. I do it for the few folks looking for it. Because at the end of the day, a lot of folks go, Chris, man, how come I never heard of you? You know, when they finally run across me, right? How come I never seen what you did? Because you weren't looking for me, bro. If you were looking for me, you would have found me. If you were looking for substance, you would have found substance, right? Right. But to be fair, the negative is really just flooded to folks where they don't even have to look, right? It's there, right? So that's OCOP. Again, had a great time. But let's talk about the other side of OCOP. Let's talk about the other side, right? Because it wasn't all great, right? It wasn't all great, right? OCOP was challenging specifically because of gas. If it wasn't, I left Port-au-Prince. I have a diesel truck. Anyone who knows diesel has incredible mileage. Okay. I left diesel on effectively a full tank, right? It could have been more full, but on a full tank. Left. I had a spare gallon. The gallon had about 8 gallons. I had a big old jug, right? It had about 8 gallons, right? About halfway through, I used those 8 gallons, right? And I still I was thinking, well, I always can find diesel. Like even during previous instances of gas shortage, I was like, oh, I could always find diesel, right? Could not find a single gas station in all of OCOP that was selling gas. That's when I knew something was this is different. Like what's going on right now? What's going on right now is different than before, than other times, right? Where literally, if it wasn't for the good Samaritan of folks who gave me their private stash, they gave me like one person gave me 5, another person gave me 5. I was able to get 10 gallons from the private stash. One group of folks didn't even let me pay. I was like, yo, I need to pay. I want to pay. I know how tough it is to get gas. Like, no, we're not gonna let you. No, we're not clicking my SeeJeanty, Chris. You're doing important work. We're not gonna let you pay. You know, the other folks, you know, he put me in connect with his black market dealer. I would say it again. He put me in connection with his black market dealer. I pull up into a home. It's like a home, right? And this home has a garage. It's like a cement garage, and they have dooms of highly flammable diesel in this shed, right? And the guy comes up, says, "Yeah, how much? Yeah, 5. He gives me. I pay a black market rate, which at the time I'll tell you how much it was. It was just about 1,000 good, 1,000 good for a gallon, right? Which is equal to because I mean, to understand the context, the true, you know, legal price was 250, so 4 times the legal rate at the time, right? And of course, comes in and he literally gets a tube, mixed because it's this doom sit on the floor where it gets that water, and then puts it into the puts it into my car. It's the wildest shit I've ever experienced in my 7+ years of traveling all around Haiti. Never experienced anything like this. And of course, you can't film this because that's a black market deal. You can't film this, and then like, man, this is where we are right now, in terms of the gas situation. And literally, when we got back to Port-au-Prince, I had 2 bars, like literally as I'm pulling into my driveway, bloop, my gas light turns yellow, right? I just ran out of gas. So remember, I just told you I was able to get 10. It wasn't for those 10 gallons, I would not have made it back to Port-au-Prince, right? So that's one thing that, behind the scenes I got to share with you. It was extremely challenging to get gas. It's a little easier in Port-au-Prince for me, just as I'm in Port-au-Prince, so I have a network of folks that I can make some phone calls. I can get the temperature on the ground a little easier to get gas. And besides, this gas is where Port-au-Prince is where the gas comes in the first place. So gas is always easier to get gas in Port-au-Prince compared to other places in the country. But even still, extremely challenging. Even still, you're paying 4 times what the market rate was. And of course, what's happening right now, I saw it coming. Like, that's the one thing about Haiti. When you live in Haiti, you can see it's boiling up. You can see the boil. And you're just watching water boil. You guys ever watch water boil? Like it happens slowly, but then you blink, and then now you just see bubbles, and the water is just boiling over the top, right? And that's where we are, right? Between the incredible inflation and between the incredible HTG decreasing, right? And the gas prices, what I'm just like explaining to you in OCOP, it was coming. It was coming. So beyond that, in OCOP, the other big thing to share, of course, behind the scenes is just OCOP is a very beautiful city in a lot of parts. Like, where the parts you're going to go to when you go, pretty clean. The downtown area is pretty clean. But the moment you step out, like immediately, the ring outside of the central downtown, it needs a lot of work, right? It breaks my heart. Like, it really does. It breaks my heart to see how dirty specific places are across OCOP. OCOP is much cleaner than Port-au-Prince, I'll tell you that much. But is that really a compliment? It's like going to a city of midget to say, "Oh, you're not so short." What are you talking about? Not a compliment. But of course, that's one reason why the other episode I did, soil, was so important. Yeah, because it was focused on trash. It was focused on waste in particular, human waste, but waste nonetheless. And there was an element of trash because sugarcane produces a lot of trash in that reuse, right? And of course, me, I don't complain about anything without providing clear path forward. And soil, the episode we did, the most recent episode we did, episode 2 of the series, is a great episode, a great exposition of how our trash problem, it's solvable, guys. When you fly to Haiti and you see this trash, just know it's solvable, and you might be able to solve it. You might be able to be able to solve it, right? Because there's folks on the ground right now doing their part to solve it, right? And you might be one. You might, and enough folks do it. We might put that nail in the coffin to finally get it done, right? But beyond that, I'm trying to see what else in terms of Cap Ice, and what else do I need to say about Cap Ice here? I don't know. What was your feedback, guys? Before I move on, what was your feedback? Any questions you guys had? You guys have any questions for me about OCOP? Let me know before I move on. I'll give you guys a minute or two to type it in really quick. But let me get a question or two about OCOP. Anything you when you watched it? I don't know. What you guys want to know? What do you want to know? Really cool. I was really happy to go to where my cassava is being made. The cassava that you can buy on Amazon right now. I was just so happy that I was able to go there. And in fact, there's gonna be a special additional episode because I interviewed the actual women who make my cassava. I interviewed them. So it wasn't part of the episode because the episode was getting as long as it was. But I'm gonna do a special spin-off episode where we're gonna go and give them an opportunity to talk. I love these women. It's 2 women. It's a mother and daughter who make my cassava. And since then, though, we've grown to where there's other people after I came and they saw the level of orders we're doing. Quite frankly, there's where we were, there's at least 4 other folks doing cassava. Okay. Of course, when we came and now we have 3 folks. We just had 1 at the time, the mother and daughter. Now we have 3 folks who are all hands on deck trying to keep up with the orders that we have for our cassava. I want to send the link. I want to drop the link, by the way, in our group. By the way, for those who are watching on Instagram, you go to hyprodistribution.com. Hypro, HAIPRO, distribution, one word.com. Go to our products. You'll see cassava, and then you click the Amazon link, and it'll take you to where to buy it, right? And so I just dropped it. So I was really stoked about that. It was really great. And again, there's gonna be a special episode in our series that gives them a chance for you guys to meet them. I really appreciate it. Did you hear about the new Shuko project? No, I haven't heard of it. I'll go ahead and Google it afterwards. Or if you want to give a link, Negla Gonaive, certainly I will. educate myself on it. You know, how long the drive? The drive was pretty. Let me see. We left. We left pretty late, a lot later than I wanted to. I think 10, right? And then we didn't get to OCOP until about 6:30, right? And when I say OCOP, like where we were residing, like at 6:30, right? So that would make it what, 8 hours. But to be fair, okay, two things in defense of the drive. First, I was having car issues. Apparently, I had gotten bad gas at some earlier in the week that screwed up the pump and a lot of different things in my car, right? And what's messed up is I actually got bad gas. I don't buy gas in the street. Right? I buy gas from the pump, but still got bad gas. Those who live in Haiti who know what I'm talking about. There isn't a person in Haiti with a car that hasn't gotten bad gas. Okay. And in my case, I get bad gas. I've gotten the times I've gotten bad gas, I get it from the pump. It's mind blowing. It's mind blowing. And so I was having issues with my truck because of that. It wasn't until I got to OCOP and I found a mechanic. Thank God I found a great mechanic in OCOP as soon as I pulled up, because I was potentially could have missed days of shooting and production. They were able to take my tank out, clean the tank, clean my filters, right? And I was able to move without those issues. But so I was having every hour or so, my truck would stop because the gas was bad and it couldn't power the truck. So that causes my time to be slower. The fact I got lost at one point, for about 30 minutes, driving 30 minutes one direction where I shouldn't. And we stopped for directions, and the woman who was helping was like, "What? No, there was a turnabout like a while ago over there. You should have turned left. You turned right, apparently." That didn't help, right? That didn't help. It doesn't help that things aren't clearly labeled. I'm like, "Yo, where was the label? Where was the sign that says this way is OCOP?" Right? That didn't help. And of course, but most importantly, a good chunk of the road was recently done. The Carnival, Jovenel's Carnival de Changement, right? Caravan de Changement had done a very large stretch of road from basically Saint Raphael, Pignon, really from Ish. Okay, so let's say from Ish all the way to Saint Raphael. That chunk of road was done and done very well. I'm very impressed. And apparently they started working on there's a final piece of road from basically that Dondon, around Dondon, that needs to be done. Apparently you can see they were working on it, but of course Jovenel died, and so boom, that's it. There's no more work to be done there. But if it wasn't for that piece of road and the things I've described, you could probably drive from Port-au-Prince to OCOP in 3 hours. 3 hours, easy, no doubt. Honestly, but given the state, literally the Dondon part of the where the road's really bad, that part alone was at least 3 hours by itself, 3.5 hours by itself, going slow. You can just hear your shocks. I had to completely redo. When I got back, I had to completely redo my shocks. Underneath my car had to be redone. That road is honestly the worst road in all of Haiti. And that says a lot. That road from Dondon, that Dondon road, is hands down the worst road in the entirety of Haiti. I think Jeremy, that road, Jeremy used to take had that title from Okai to Jeremy. That piece of road used to be the worst road in Haiti, but now that road's done. That road's done. You can drive very quickly, from Okai to Jeremy, no issues there. So the remaining very worst road in all the country is that piece of road from a little past Saint Raphael, Dondon, that piece right there, and it's baffling. To me, it's baffling. And we're in 2022, and our two biggest cities aren't connected. Well, they're connected. But even that road, there's another piece. There's another large chunk of that road that's not done. So yeah, I can stand firm in my statement that I'm about to say, which is It's baffling in 2022 that we don't have a fully connected road system between our two largest cities. It's crazy. It's crazy. Let's see. I'm gonna grab one more question. This is an interesting question. How do you manage your family's fear about moving from around PAP to OCOP? Well, if your family knows anything about Port-au-Prince to OCOP, they shouldn't be fearful. They should be more than happy that you're leaving Port-au-Prince. I think if your parents or your family can't differentiate between Port-au-Prince and OCOP, you have a bigger problem. They're painting Haiti as one place, and that's a bigger problem that unfortunately you can't. Well, I mean, you have a bigger challenge ahead of you. You have to explain to them the differences in our country. You know what I'm saying? So, hi from Russia. How you doing, man? We got a Russian in the house. What's up? What's up? All right, so let's move on. Right. Thank you for that. Thanks for the questions about OCOP. Right. Let's talk about it. Paid lock. I know a lot of you guys are here for that. Paid lock. Let's talk about it. Right. Since my birthday, 13th, since Tuesday, 9/13, right? The country has been locked. And what is paid lock? For those who don't know, what is paid lock? Paid lock translates to the lockdown of a country. That's what paid lock, lockdown, country lockdown is the quick way to explain what that is. Translation, country lockdown, right? And it's literally protests happening. And why it's a pay level is because it's happening across the country, right? And roads are blocked, and not just your typical burning fires, but literally barricades are constructed, no up and down movement, and protests are happening everywhere. And sustained, by the way, right? To the point where the police, there is no police, right? Because it's everywhere, right? It's not just a particular area, right? And we've had these before. This is probably the third or fourth. No, this is the fourth pay lock, maybe fifth that I'm aware of, right? Each one is incredibly terrifying, to be a part of if you're in the country, and terrifying just to watch from afar, because you're like, whoa, what's going on, right? The reason for the pay lock, of course, you have incredibly high inflation, right? You have, inflation has always been high in Haiti. I don't think, remember, we used to do Haiti Biz News. So I had to be very close to the economic data, right? And I'm not aware of us ever being less than 18% inflation in general. But right now, you have the good, the HTG, dropping to a point where at one point it almost got to 150. It was trading at 145 right before the central bank got real aggressive with injecting dollars in the economy to get that trade exchange rate to go down to about, I think the lowest it got down to was I think one day it was trading at 110, but then it got to 118. Right now, as I'm talking to you, I know I can trade a dollar for a good for 125. That was before the 13th. That was before this crisis. I'm sure, when the economy opens up again, I'm sure we'll probably be trading at 130, 135. Quite frankly, that's just what I know for a fact, given just how everything's been shut down, right? So the good, and whenever the good, the reason why that's important, right, guys, is that whenever the good goes that low, it means that those in Haiti who need to buy, because everything's imported. Understand that everything's imported, right? And so those who are in Haiti, who run markets, who run grocery stores, are importing our food, right? They have to, spend more HTG, more good, to buy that product that's in dollars, right? when they have to spend more good, guess who at the end of the day has themselves to spend more good to purchase it? The average Haitian national, right? Who's having to go to the store, who's having even the Madame Serraz. At the end of the day, guess what? The Madame Serraz, unless they're selling agricultural products that come from the mountains that are growing out the ground, guess what? The Madame Serraz, they're having to buy this stuff and resell, right? This imported stuff for resale, right? And their prices are going up. And guess what? A lot of the Madame Serraz, even the ones I just mentioned that get their stuff from the ground, right? Agriculture, when they go home to cook for their families, the vegetable oil, Haiti doesn't make their vegetable oil, right? You need vegetable oil to cook, right? That's important, right? Even the ones who use chabo to cook, right? But guess what? That chabo, it comes from the provinces to the city in a vehicle that uses gas. And when the HCG drops, it takes more HCG to buy gas. This is even before the gas price went up, right? It takes more HCG to get gas, right? Right. And it's one of the reasons that has been driving the black market activities, in Haiti, right? And not even talking about how the gas prices have gone up in general internationally. Not even talking about that. Just talk about what the impact of the exchange rate does to the entire fluidity, the exchange rate is the liquid that keeps the economy lubricated. And when the HCG is losing its currency, losing its value, it makes what I'm looking for, it accelerates hardship in the country. Accelerates hardship. And by the way, guys, for those who don't know, I have an undergraduate and graduate degree in economics. I'm not just some guy talking about stuff he doesn't know about. You're speaking with a classically trained economist, right? I'm just breaking it down, not only from just a general perspective, but just from a perspective of a guy living in Haiti and seeing it for myself, right? So you can take what I'm saying with a bit more than a grain of salt, that these were the elements that are leading up to paid lock, right? I just mentioned those who have been here a little longer or just are popping in right now, how it was impossible for me to get gas in Ocam. Except for good Samaritans who were able to give me free gas or connect me to their black market dealer. All right. And that's a situation that a lot of folks found themselves in throughout the country. They couldn't get gas. Right. Right. And then the worst part, I guess you can say, is, again, insecurity. Got to mention that. Right. We got to talk about the insecurity that has been rocking the country for too long, for going on 3 years now. That's fatiguing, right? And ultimately the lack of, I guess you can say, from our current prime minister, Henry, just a lack of, I don't know. At least with Jovenel, the guy would get on TV. He would, whether you believed him or not, that's your business. But at least he made an effort to kind of make it seem as if he was on top of it. He was doing something, right? Whether or not he was really doing it, again, that you debate that. But he made a show of it. I appreciated the show. I really did. I appreciated it. Because that's, in most functioning countries, politicians make a show of caring. And you have Aaron Henry who hasn't. I mean, his very first broadcast was a broadcast where he comes online. He comes on, on television, Haitian television, Haitian, social media, and says, "Hey, by the way, I'm raising your gas by 3 times what it was." What? And of course, once that happened, right? Once that announcement was made, that's when paid lock happened. That's when folks hit the streets. And we've been in a situation where, I don't even talk about it. You've seen it, right? And you've seen some of the worst elements of what paid lock is too, which is pillaging, looting, right? Things on fire, from cars to homes, businesses. Yes, businesses on fire, right? Some of the worst elements, right? Now, I want to be clear, 99% of those folks who are in the streets have a legitimate reason to be in the streets, right? I'd probably say a good 80% of those folks are legitimately on their free will in the streets, right? Is there a significant percentage outside of 80% that are influenced to be there? Once upon a time, I would say no. Once upon a time, a more naive SeeJeanty, Chris Jeanty, would say, nah, come on, guys, you gotta understand, the folks are there, they got pains and genuine issues that they're for their rights, right? But I would be amiss to say there isn't a strong percentage, and not majority, a strong percentage of folks who are there specifically because they're instructed to be there, paid to be there, and worse, instructed and paid to do the worst things that you see, from rock throwing to burning, um, getting on camera, right, to expound. They're anyone. It's hard to allow you guys to understand the reality of this, that there are actors in Haiti that actively are looking to take advantage of situations for their own gains, for their own advancement, and that's there too. That's there too. Now, I think it's a consensus that the other pays locks had more of that, right? Significantly more of what I just explained, because Jovenel was in power. There were a lot of folks who um, wanted Jovenel out. Jovenel himself, I bless him. I mean, he was doing some good stuff, but he wasn't a politician. He didn't know how to navigate the game. Made everyone mad. I mean, everyone. I mean, just listen. A week before he died, the one ally maybe he had was America, and here he was bringing accepting the Russian ambassador in. Like, hello, hello, like you, the one friend you have, which is America, because everyone else in Haiti hated you. Everyone understood the only reason why you're still there potentially was because America didn't put their finger on the scale just to get you out. And then you are accepting the Russian ambassador. And, again, the only thing worse than accepting a Russian ambassador into your country when you're so dependent on America is maybe accepting a Chinese ambassador. Right? Right? And lo and behold, a week later, he's dead. Lo and behold, right? Jovenel didn't know how to play the game. Didn't know how to play the game. I didn't know how to play it, right? My point is that the other pay locks a lot more money behind it because Jovenel was so incredibly disliked by everyone, right? When I say everyone who could influence things on the ground. I'm not saying literally everyone. I think Jovenel did have a silent amount of folks who you would have seen if there was an election and if he was on the ballot. I think you would have been surprised how many folks would have voted for Jovenel in a future election. There was a silent majority. Can I say that? Silent minority? A silent chunk that were how do I want to phrase this? Wanted to see more. How about that? There was a silent majority that wanted to see more of the constructive things that Jovenel was doing. That I can say it like that. But then there was a large majority of folks who could put money out, who could lobby the U.S. government, that were against him. So I want to say this pay lock doesn't have that. It doesn't have the amount of money that was behind the other pay locks. But there is a rawness to this pay lock that wasn't a part of the others, right? There's an organicness this pay lock that wasn't a part of the others, right? And ultimately, is this pay, because right now there's this weekend, this week, Saturday and Sunday, all accounts, things have been quiet in Port-au-Prince, or the country in general, relative compared to how things were. Things are supposed to pick back up on Monday. Are they going to? I don't know. We're gonna see, right? If I'm a betting man, I'd say I don't expect the pay lock to continue, because that's one thing about when I just described it. It's a raw emotion. It's a rawness to it, right? I don't expect the pay lock to continue because raw emotion just goes out. Like think about when you're mad at your girlfriend or your significant other, family member. You get mad. You get that energy out, and then you move on. You go on. I suspect that's what's going to happen this week, right? But I could be wrong. That's one thing about Haiti. I've been wrong enough to know I'm probably wrong. But I try to patch together what I've learned each time I've been wrong to hopefully be right the next time. And I think I've patched enough together this time so that I think I'm right. So we'll see. I don't think this pay lock is going to sustain. I know the government isn't going to relent on changing the gas price because, quite frankly, they can't afford it, right? Because quite frankly, that $400 million that they're spending on gas, geez, man, guys, how do you expect our government to be corrupt if they don't have the money to be corrupt? Guys, come on. Because you're not going to see anything positive come out this $400 million of savings. You should see roads being constructed, schools being built, infrastructure taking place, right? And that's, but guys, come on. They can't be corrupt. They can't buy, guys. The PM and the people at the top brass, they can't buy their second Miami home, guys. They can't buy their $1 million home in Canada, Moriata, guys. If so much of the money is having to go to gas prices, come on. I'm being facetious here, obviously, right? But there's truth in what I'm saying, right? Yeah, the government can't afford it, but we're not going to see anything come about the savings that we should see. We're not, right? I think if the government had any brains, they would say, you know what, we're removing the subsidy, but the $1.50, the diaspora tax, we're going to remove it too, because now there's $40 million that we don't have to pay for gas, right? We don't need the diaspora tax anymore. We don't need that $1.50 off each transfer. We don't need that anymore, right? That would show you that something's happening, right? We'll leave it alone. I'm gonna make somebody mad today. Just pay log. That's the background. That's where we're at. The price now for a gallon of gas and diesel, they're both in the 600s now. They're both in the 600s. In fact, let me double check here. Let me double check. Because I have a screenshot what the prices are. Darn it. Computer's acting up. All right, give it a second. It's loading. I'll give it to you in just a moment. It's about 600-ish. Vas-y. Got people on live. Come on, guys. Come on. Okay, there we go. All right. Bear with me, guys. Let me give you the price right now. Okay, there we go. So the price used to be $250 to $353, right? That's what it used to be. Gasoline used to be $250 good. Diesel is 253, right? Now we're looking at a price point of. Now we're looking at a price point of three. See, back in the day, when I used to do this more frequently, I used to have my notes all prepped. Now I just got to go through the things I've shared to get it to you guys. Now the price point is roughly what I mentioned. Mama. Yeah, there we go. Yep. Okay, here we go. So it's the good is 570 good for gasoline, and for diesel 670 good. 670 good. And kerosene was 352, and now it's 675. Right. Right. So for those who are on IG, I had to pause you guys real quick. It basically across the board, we're looking at about 600 good plus for our gas prices right now. Right. And so 3 times higher, roughly 2.5 times ish, right, higher than what it was. But here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. I'm gonna show you something. I'm gonna show you something. See that? You guys see that? I'm gonna show it to you guys who are on IG real quick. I'm gonna rotate this around. So I just mentioned that we're in the 600s right now, right? But this is the equivalence of the HTG, right? The equivalence right now, right? Of what the gasoline per gallon is in other countries. Okay. Before the change, right? And you can see that in Haiti, it was the cheapest. Haiti doesn't produce gas. We import just like the rest of these countries. Puerto Rico doesn't produce gas. Cuba doesn't produce gas. Probably Dominican doesn't produce gas. Bahamas, Barbados. All these guys import their gas selling. You guys follow me? But yet somehow Haiti is cheaper. Right? And even now, I just mentioned that gasoline and both diesel, they're in the 600s, right? They're on par with the Dominican Republic, our neighbor, right? Same distance. DR gets their gas. Their gas has to travel from the same distance from where we're getting our gas, right? Most of their gas is American gas, okay? Just like our gas now is mostly American gas, American source gas, anyways, right? Right? And our gas price is in line with that. So a lot of folks who critique and say, "Oh, we can't afford that gas," but we can't afford not to keep subsidized. We can't afford to keep subsidizing our gas. That is the truth of the matter, right? The problem I have, and the problem you should have with the situation, isn't the gas price, guys, right? It's the issue of what is going to be done now that the government isn't spending that money on that gas. That is the question. That's why the focus of folks should be on the street. It shouldn't necessarily be focused on the gas price. Yes, the gas price is very, when you're in a country that the government doesn't do anything, right? The government doesn't do anything for its people. Doesn't invest in education as it should. Doesn't invest in healthcare as it should. Doesn't invest in roads and infrastructure as it should. Doesn't invest in electricity as it should. Doesn't invest in making it easier to do business as it should. Doesn't invest in cracking down on corruption as it should. Doesn't invest in trash collection as it should. Doesn't invest in waste management as it should. Doesn't do excuse my French here. I'm sorry. I gotta speak my heart here. Doesn't do a goddamn thing for the people in this country, right? I think it is okay to express that the little bit they were doing, which was keeping gas prices cheap, and they're moving themselves out of that. That's a problem. I agree with that argument 100%. It's hard for me to counter that argument. except to say, fundamentally, remember guys, economist here, economist speaking, a government can't be spending $40 million in keeping gas prices cheap. Okay. We need to hold the task our Haitian government to do their goddamn jobs, man. Their goddamn job as a government is to provide everything I just mentioned: school, education, roads, trash collection, make it easier to do business, security, right? Regulation, regulate. We're stopping short of the responsibilities that we need to hold the Haitian government to. And that's the truth. So understand. Yes. The gap. To be very clear, I agree with the government. The tax subsidy needs to be removed. I agree. But I agree with the protesters. I agree with the protesters who are complaining we have no food because the government has invested in domestic production. I agree with the protesters in saying there's no education because the government doesn't invest in education. I agree with the protesters in that there is no health protections. I agree with them. And ultimately, I agree with the protesters because they all say they want jobs, but yet the government makes it hell on earth to start a business, invest in the business, register your business. It makes it hell on earth to do it. Right. So I agree with the protesters and everything they've said. Right. And at even the ones that say, are expressing the issues with gas prices going down, at the heart of their argument, what they're really asking for, what they're really requiring, what they're really requesting is the government to do their goddamn jobs, man. Do your goddamn job, government. Ariel Henry, Mr. I'm working, Mapkavai, Mr. I'm Mapkavai. Work, do real work, man. A very important question folks have asked me. They asked me, Chris, they asked, do I have, during times like this, do I lose hope for Haiti? Number one. Number two, they asked me, of course, you're watching these news, business being burnt during Paylock. What are my thoughts, right? What are your thoughts in terms of, how are you advocating investment in Haiti and everything, and yet businesses are being burnt, businesses are being pillaged, right? Looted. Make sense for that for me. Make that make sense, right? I had a conversation with a close associate of mine just yesterday, right? And someone who from outside of Haiti came in, invested in Haiti. And it's not their first rodeo, by the way. They've been in Haiti for a few years now. They've seen paylocks. They've learned from each paylock, right? They've changed their business model, to where employees can even sleep at the job. During times like this, they provide food. They have a food stash where they can cook food for them. They have all the comforts of home, at the facility where they work, right? So they don't have to be out, in the streets trying to commute back and forth. They can be there and make sure that they can service their customers, right? Because their customers are in America, in Haiti, they're abroad, right? And this time, sad, but we're talking. He said, "Listen, Chris, I'm sniffing around the Caribbean now." He goes, "What do you mean?" Listen, I'm sniffing around the Caribbean. I'm looking at Dominican Republic because they were looking to invest more, right? They're looking to add more jobs into Haiti, but they're going to keep what they have currently in Haiti, but they're a growing business, right? So they're looking at Dominican Republic. They're looking other places, Mexico, other Caribbean countries, Jamaica, to expand their business now, right? Because they told me, they said, "Listen, Chris, we're doing everything we can to isolate, protect our investment, but every single time it's something else, right?" And in this case, right next door to them is a bank. Right next door to them is a bank. And the protesters have been trying very hard to get into this bank and starting fires right next to them, right? Now imagine you thought you're good, you have a setup where your employees can work inside. And now, right next door, they're trying to burn it down, right? And for the first time, despite everything you've done, to allow your operation to function, it's just like, I'm not gonna allow my employees to die because they're trying to burn the next door down. I give this example to say there's, because what I always express is plan for the unplannable, right? Plan for these times and put that in your business model. But even then, there is instances in Haiti that can break the camel's back, right? There's instances in Haiti when you're doing business where, enough. Okay, enough. Is it this time? It could be. It could have been other times, right? I want to be very clear when I talk, right? This isn't, naivete, right? This isn't a naive guy talking. This is an actual businessman speaking to you with business interests in the ground, fighting to keep those business interests going, okay? The answer I give to do I lose hope, and the answer I give to what about businesses that are in crisis right now is there needs to be almost an illogical, the logic. If you choose logic, you won't be in Haiti. I always say, I've said this even before, even during good times. Doing business in Haiti is an emotional decision. It's not a logical one, right? And this is actually piggybacked off of Napoleon. Johnson Napoleon said something I got to give credit where credit's due. He said something very similar. He kind of allowed me to phrase my idea a little better, right? Doing business in Haiti is an illogical decision, right? It's a very emotional one because you hope that what you're doing is going to flower into a better environment eventually, okay? And when times like this happen, right, it requires you to dig deeper into that illogicalness. You guys with me? Dig deeper in that illogicalness, right, to find how you're going to move forward despite, right? To say, okay, well, you know what? I'm not where we were doing business before. We're not going to do business next to a bank, because this happened, and so we're going to try to move to do everything we did, but we just can't be next to a bank. See what I'm saying? Right? And that's a semi of all the choices you could make. It's probably maybe the most it's an illogical one, but the true logical one is what that associated mind is doing now, just sniffing around. But because we have a emotional desire to have Haiti be a better place than it was, then when we engaged, we're gonna keep fighting. We're gonna keep fighting, right? And so I express that I haven't lost hope. I've just gone deeper into my desire to see Haiti improve and Haiti be a better place where, Haiti, it really is going to be a change place when it doesn't take this degree of illogicalness to do business here. When it is very logical to do business, but just like right now, this is point blank. Listen, it's real logical to do business in DR. Real logical. Right? You don't even need to be a real business person. When I say real business person, it's, how do I phrase this without sounding something some way I don't want to sound? It's easy to fly in, open something, get a retail space, hire somebody, fly out. And doesn't guarantee you're going to do well, but at least you won't lose, it will take a while before you have time to direct course and you can do changes, and it's predictable. The environment's predictable enough. You see what I'm saying? That's what I mean, right? the level of acumen needed to do business in a place like DR versus in Haiti, it's just nuts. It's like it's like training a marathon with Jamaicans. You got that analogy now, right? It's like training for a marathon, training in track and field with Jamaicans versus training track and field, with Canadians or something. You see what I'm saying? There's levels to it. There's levels to it, son. Right? I really had to stew on that thought, in terms of, am I answering that question appropriately? In terms of, it's not easy, because the imagery of businesses burning, is there not a political element to it? I know, for example, one of the biggest image of business being burnt right now is a 4C. 4C is a pharmacy in Port-au-Prince. The largest or maybe second largest pharmacy in Haiti being burnt. But guess who owns 4C? Boulos. Right? Guess who owns it? A person very active in politics, right? Take that for what it's worth. You do with that information what it's worth, right? That the only business I saw being burnt was one connected to a very active political person, right? That's the one I saw. I did see pillaging happen, and it's heartbreaking, right? A lot of these businesses aren't gun eggs that are part of it. They're just malleable who are just trying, who borrowed money to get their businesses going. It's a problem. It's a problem. I totally agree. But I also seen a lot of images of the World Food Program being looted, and their rice from Canada, their free rice from Canada, their free rice from America, being looted. That's rice that was supposed to go to school children. This is what the World Food Program is: school children and people of need, right? Let's just say I would have more problem with if it was a stash of locally grown rice that the World Food Program helped local Haitian agricultors grow, and then they, instead of buying, using their funds to get free Canadian, the Canadian rice to come over here, if instead it was Haitian rice that they're helping provide a market to and provide consistency and stability, whereas the government isn't doing it, that's something they could have done. And now if the people then rushed, and then now you can see, Auntie Bonite rice on their backs, now I'm like, damn, that's effed up, man. The way it is right now, yeah. You want me to fake being heartbroken? Listen, NGOs, they mean well, but they're not necessarily doing the right things the right way. And doing things the right way means supporting our economy and supporting our producers on the ground. And if you're not doing that, whatever good you think you're doing, you're not doing any real good. I'm sorry, point blank. Crucify me if you want. Put me on a do not fly list if you want. Okay? But if you're an NGO and your main core apparatus isn't supporting producers on the ground, if you're in food and your core doesn't involve going to a farmer, working with the farmer to be more productive, giving the farmer money. F your training. Everyone's about training. Train. Yo, give them money. Give them money. Give them money for seeds. Guarantee that their product, once it's produced, is going to be purchased, right? If you and then you buy, and then you do whatever you want with it. Give it away for free. Okay. You know what I'm saying? But at least that farmer and that agriculture industry can now sustain itself, right? Anything else you're doing, I don't care how you putting lipstick on that pig. You're not really helping that. You're creating you're creating dependency. I'm sorry, I creating dependency. You're not helping at all. You're giving. It's like you're giving a thirsty man seawater. I'm saying it again. You're giving a thirsty man seawater. Okay. Yeah, it's liquid, yeah, it's H2O, but the more they drink it, the worse they are, the worse off they are, because you're actually dehydrating them at the time when you're thinking and you're promoting hydration. You're actually dehydrating them. When you create these massive silos of food that comes from somewhere else, and our farmers can't produce enough because they're competing against your free food. I'm sorry, when I see imagery of your silo being looted, you see that, guys? See that? You see this? You see this? You see that? You see that? You see the lack of tears in those eye ducts? There's a lack of tears there. I'm not going to cry for you. I would have cried if it was the other way around. And I almost can guarantee you, if you had structured your NGO appropriately, they would have never looted you. They would have known that the farmers would have told enough of their people to say, yo, don't touch that. We need that. They're helping us. Don't do that, please. Right? They would have stood in front of that NGO and be like, you know? You know what I mean? Follow me? Right? What else do I need to say about Paylock? What else? What else do I need to say about Paylock? Talk to me. Drop a question in there. Drop a question in the chat. Let me go to IG. I haven't given IG any love. That's what IG's saying. Big Belly FT goes, why do you think there is a low rice production in Haiti? Farmers can't compete. Farmers can't compete. It's just that simple. Farmers can't compete against free rice from extremely subsidized rice from Arkansas. And I've seen it for myself. I've seen it where I went to I go to food depots, and a big thing of rice from Artibonite is selling for 200, 250 good, whereas rice imported from America is selling at 100 good. As an example, almost more than half. You can't compete against that, right? You can't compete, right? Because the rice from America is extremely subsidized, right? Boss down low key says too many outsiders have all the senators in their pockets. Half senators want Ariel Henry to stay, the other half want him to leave, so the stealing can continue. I don't disagree with you, right? Let's see if I have any other questions in here. Don't really see anything. If I'm missing something, feel free and redrop it. Feel free and redrop it, right? And feel free and redrop it, right? All right, so we'll move on from that. I think I've expressed how Paylock got to where it is, what's causing it, and ultimately how I feel about it and how I feel from a business perspective. I haven't lost hope. By the way, I've seen, this is just how things are going to be, right? Until Haitians have jobs, until if anything, what I see here is, as I mentioned at the top of the hour, a lot of my guys who work for me, each and every one of them were trying to get to work, and each and every one of them weren't participating in these protests. And this goes to show you that if folks have work, if they have jobs, they're gonna be fighting for that job. They'll be fighting to go to work and getting work done. They're not gonna have time to protest. I mean, they'll protest the right way, by going to elections and voting for people who are into their interests, right? But they wouldn't have time to go in the streets and protest. And so quite frankly, that's my hope. My hope is I work harder to employ more and do my part to keep a small fraction of protesters who could be out in the streets off the streets. That's my hope, right? And for the buildings that the businesses that burnt, the sad fact is, it's not too common for businesses to be burnt at random, right? If you see a business burning, there's a strong chance there's a political connection involved. Strong chance. There's a political connection involved. And again, I think that's how I want to wrap that up. So I want to wrap that pay lock up. If you guys have any other questions about pay lock, feel free to drop it. I'll try to answer it, before we go. You know what I mean? All right. I do see some questions coming in. Let's see. Nick Nixon asks a question: do you see any future or hope coming from that pay lock? I guess when you say that, like anything positive coming out of pay lock, just anything positive coming out of this pay lock. Hasn't been positive coming out of any pay lock, I wonder, except for higher walls around businesses. I really want to give a genuine good answer. I have my answer already, but I want to say, is that the answer I want to give? Is there any changes that could come out of this pay lock? I don't see it. I don't see it. I mean, this pay lock may give. I mean, already the national community has pretty much ignored what's been happening in Haiti. It might give, if it endures, it might force the international community, when I say national community, U.S. and France, to not ignore Haiti the way they've been ignoring Haiti, and give more reason to intervene. I'm not asking for intervention, but I'm just saying that would happen if this keeps up in a sustained manner, and that would certainly change the environment substantially. But by itself, I don't see any change. These pay locks don't do any change, especially no positive change. That's for sure. By themselves, they don't. You know what I mean? I think that's how I answer that. Okay. All right. So that's topic. Next topic: misery tourists. Misery tourists, right? And when we look at misery tourists, there's probably no bigger misery tourist right now than. I'll show you guys too. Might as well. You guys probably watched it. You guys seen it 3 million views. Who hasn't watched this video? Apparently, you know what I mean? Let me pull up this. Let me share my screen with you guys. Right, this guy, Indigo Traveler, misery tourist, number uno. There's others too, and I'll show you another one right in a moment. But this guy particularly, Indigo Traveler, right? You can see the little red thing. I watched the ones particularly. I had to. So many people were talking about it. Don't like that I gave him an extra view, but know thy enemy, as they say, right? And this is on day one, walking the streets of Haiti, the most dangerous country in the world. My guys on IG right now, let me show you guys what I'm talking about, right? Episode 1, walking the streets of Haiti. Come on, man. Oh, man. The most dangerous country in the world? Really? Are there, last I checked, there isn't car bombs happening in Haiti. Last I checked, there isn't a jihad happening in Haiti, right? Last I checked, Boko Haram isn't Boko Haram equivalents kidnapping girls in Haiti. Last I checked, there isn't a cartel that disappears a busload of 43 students, disappears them. We're the most dangerous country in the world. What? Excuse me? I would like this guy to go to Afghanistan and be embedded with the Taliban and see how far he goes. Right? But we're the most dangerous in the world. I'm living in a bizarre world right now. The most dangerous country in the world? What? Guys, help me out here. Yeah, Haiti isn't the safest in certain areas, especially, but the most dangerous in the world. My guys, I know a place in South Africa. You can't pull up in a place in South Africa without being carjacked and robbed. Last I checked, Kim Kardashian was tied up and roped in her home in Paris, or her apartment in Paris, for her jewelry. Last I checked, just last week, PNB Rock was sitting in chicken waffles and chicken. What was it? Chicken and waffles. And the dude walks up to him, steals his jewelry, and shoots him in the chest and kills him. This is LA. But America, but Haiti is the most dangerous in the world. In the world, there's 100 and how many countries? 180 some odd countries plus something. We're number one. Danger? Really? So this misery tourist called Untitled Traveler, right? Let's pop in this country. Let's pop in this video real quick, right? All right. He talks about, as soon as he comes in, he says he had to pay a bribe or something like that. As soon as he comes in, he said he had to pay a bribe. I had to pay a bribe. So the person he's touring with, as I'm in and out of Haiti. I'm in and out of Haiti once, twice a month. If you want to give a police officer some money, they'll take it. Yo, you want to give 100 good, 600 good. You want to give them, they'll take it. Doesn't mean they're being bribed. You want to make a gesture with a police officer. That's just your business. I've never been in a situation where I've had to give a police officer any money. 7 years I've been pulled over countless times in Haiti. Never, ever have had to give a Haitian police officer money. Ever. Just that's my personality. I have friends who, are more culturally attuned to Haiti. And there's something you have to understand with Haitian culture. It's a very giving culture. You just give to anyone. Just give. Whoever. Right? That kind of goes into our corruption culture too, regrettably. I think that's a deeper conversation in a different time. Take a look at the trash. Take a look at that. It zooms in on that shit, right? Don't get me wrong. It's an issue. Didn't I just talk about trash being an issue? I talked about it. But guess what I mean when I talk about it? I talk about the folks who are solving it, right? This dude comes in, flies in, zooms in on that. You know what I'm saying? It's your problem. Lost my train of thought for the first time. That really bothered me right there. Lost my train of thought. Yeah, I got to try to remember where I was going somewhere. Yeah, help me where my last thought was. I'm going to have to rewind my video. See where we were. Let me try to remember where my train of thought was. Dangerous country in the world. I think that's the last thing I remember. Right. It's. I'll just get to the main point of what I'm trying to get at with this guy. Oh, police culture and giving money. Yeah. I've been with folks more closer too, and they'll say, they'll give, if there's a prestige in the car, they'll give a police officer prestige. You see what I'm saying? But it's not corruption. I mean, sorry, it's not a bribe. You know what I'm saying? But regrettably, the guy who he's with, I don't know who this guy is. He's kind of seeing as the guide, to these misery tourists. This fella right here, I don't know who he is. This guy right here. God bless him. I think he means well. I think he thinks he's a journalist who is allowing folks to share their story. At least I've watched this, and this is what he says himself. But at the same time, too, I think he may not be in the best position to help with the fair and balanced role of showing what our country's about, especially when you understand that these misery tourists, they're looking for any opportunity to share the negative of Haiti. I mean, anything. You give them an inch, they'll take a mile in terms of expanding the negativity, the negative aspect of whatever you tell them, right? Remember this guy. Okay. Check this out. This date is the date of this was the year of the date about 2 weeks ago. About 2 weeks ago, this was posted. Right? Remember this guy. Check this out. Hold on, let me put this down for a second. Excuse me, those who are on IG. Give me a second. I need both hands to type this. This, guys, is another misery tourist. Okay. Another misery tourist who Haiti's gang war in Port-au-Prince. And you go to his page. All right. And you can, and now of course you gotta go to Ukraine right now because that's current misery. And you gotta see voodoo, how to make a zombie voodoo market. Okay. How come I can't scroll to the right? It's really annoying. It's not allowing me to scroll to the right for some reason. Let me zoom out so I can see these other ones. City Soleil mud cookies. Look at that. City Soleil mud cookies. What? Hold on. Let me zoom out some more. For some reason, I can't zoom to the right, which is really weird. Why does that allow me to zoom to the right? Let me try to do something. Let me do something. Let me stop sharing my screen for just a second. Let me move this back. I'll be right back, IG. Let me do something real quick. That's weird. How come I cannot move to the right? Let me refresh my page. It's really bizarre. Let me move it over here. Okay, I got it working, guys. I got it working. Let me share. I'm gonna reshare it now, guys. I'm gonna reshare it. Okay, right? You guys are seeing. Yep, you guys are seeing it, right? I can go back to this. Right? Gangster shot 16 times. Right? Biggest slum in Haiti. Right? I mean, the only unsensational one of all of this, right, is eating Haitian food for the first time. Yeah, and believe it or not, actually, after this gang war, he actually had 442K. You know, that's probably his largest video. You know, there's the one positive one that he had, positive-ish, right? But you'll notice that, look at this. Who's here? This fella, right? This fella, this guy, right? I ain't trying to blow up his spot, man. I ain't trying to, you know, he's Haitian brother who means well. I ain't trying to blow up his spot, man. But, and this, by the way, 1 month ago, you can tell what time this is. 1 month ago, 1 month ago, and I just showed you Indigo Traveler, who was here, just a few, you know, currently, I think the guy's currently in Haiti right now, and he's touring, right? And so he's functioning as a misery tourist guide. You see what I'm saying? You know, there's a movie out right now called Woman King, right? A movie out right now called Woman King, and it's getting a lot of flack, right? Why? Because the homie, you know the history well, the homie were involved heavily in the slave trade, arguably one of the more successful groups on the slave trade. On the other side, who were actually, you know, finding Africans and selling them to Europeans for slavery, right? That's the history, the cold hard fact of the homie. And I'm gonna watch that movie. Actually, I'm gonna watch the movie and see how they deal with that issue. I'm not one to critique without watching something. You see what I'm saying? That's not how I do things. I'm just talking from the historical context. The homie historically were heavily involved in the slave trade in Africa. Okay, meaning there's always one of us involved in the sacrilege of us. So that brother means well, but there's always someone involved, us, and part of the sacrilege of us. And he's involved. As I want to be very clear, there is a value in terms of what yeah, and I mean, I figured that out too, LM. I figured that out that, you know, that's what happened. Indigo Traveler saw that Christmas list, and then I figured that out. I figured that, you know. In fact, I think he even says so much in his first episode. He was looking to get to Haiti for a while, couldn't find a good guide. He saw Christmas list, right? Right. My point in this is that, you know, this is, you know, these guys are providing a value, because at the end of the day, here's what should be happening. What should be happening is we should have media entities in Haiti providing journalism that focuses on the Cité Soleil, La Saline, Matissan, right, by Haitian media entities. And then once those stories hit, there should be things done to improve the situation for the people in those areas. What happens in actuality is the media journalists, the Haitian media journalists who do these type of stories get killed. You know, they get killed. It's just a fact. You know, Haitian media journalists cannot do these stories without being killed. In fact, you know, if you just Google Cité Soleil journalists killed, two Cité journalists killed. Last week, there was 2 killed. They were trying to do a story in Cité Soleil about what's happening. They were killed, bodies mutilated, burned. I don't want to sugarcoat anything as I'm talking. I want to be very clear. You guys understand, this is not the naivety channel. We are 100% real about what happens in Haiti. Okay? It just so happens we still have hope for it. That's the difference. Okay? But they were killed. So there's a value in these sort of misery tourists coming in and doing these stories, and then the story go out, right? There's a value to it, because these, you know, this is what irks me when you see this guy, Indigo Traveler, says, most dangerous country in the world, but yet he's perfectly safe. If it's truly the most dangerous country in the world, again, you would not be able to do what you're doing. You would have been killed as soon as you step foot out the airport. You see what I'm saying? If it was truly the most dangerous, per your caption. You see what I'm saying? But he's able to go do what he does and then provide the story. Value, it's a value. It's important. But the problem is that if I type Haiti, it's nothing but these type of stories that are in the news. There is nothing that shows the way out, to the point where this adds no value, because we knew already City Soleil folks are in misery. We knew they have no sewage system. We knew their homes are in shanty towns. We know this. I mean, perhaps it gives you a visualization, someone who hasn't seen it, on a very nice HD 1080p camera. Cool, great. But it doesn't say the fact that we knew they're in tough straits. And the only way out for many of our Haitians is a change in our political environment, but most importantly, an economically based change, a change that foundation is the economics of it, not just the politics for the politics, right? And of course, there is no talk about that. There's just misery porn. And that's ultimately my issue with these, and they get views. I mean, OCOP, don't get me wrong, the Jacmel is over 100K. Very proud about that. Jeremy is pushing, 90K, 80K? It's up there. 75K, somewhere up there. The Jeremy series, the first episode, is pushing. It's up there. Meanwhile, with the OCOP series, this guy is almost pushing 2-3 mil. OCOP series is sitting at 6.5K. I've never been one much for views, but it's really important that we control our narrative. It's really important that we push and we support folks who are trying to do good work, because, you have, and this is not the last misery tourists. Once one misery tourist come in, they all try to outbeat themselves, and there's going to be another misery tourist next month. There's going to be another misery tourist a month after that, right? But it's really important. I'm gonna show you one guy who does it right. Like even myself, one thing I kind of beat myself up on is that I maybe am show a little too much of the good, right? Let me see if I saw that right. No, am I? Or no? Let's see. I want to find something for you guys. Here we go. Right. I highly recommend you guys go check this out. This video out by Tayo Aina. Right. Tayo Aina. It's African who basically, again, he, like me, focuses on the progressive aspect of his country and Africa as a whole. It's kind of like a Walter Maya. I know you guys may know Walter Maya, WOZ Maya, YouTuber that focuses very much on, folks impacting. It's personal stories of folks impacting. And the title of this is called Inside Nigeria's Most Dangerous City, right? But if you watch this, I encourage you guys to watch this. Right? I encourage you. In fact, I'll drop the link really quick. Let me do that. Let me drop the link really quick in our chat after this video. I do encourage you to go watch this, right? I encourage you to go watch it because he does it the right way, right? Where he gives the background, the context. He goes to these areas, shows the hardship of how these folks are living. But most importantly, he gives real stories of how these folks are moving forward, action plans, and folks who are actively engaged in improving the situation, right? So at the end of the day, when you finish watching this, you don't leave hopeless. You don't leave less of hope. You actually leave full of hope. You actually leave watching this saying, Okay, all right, I'm a Nigerian. All right, I know how to help now. I bet. I know what I need to do. Okay, got it. I understand the situation more than I had before, and I know how I can provide my background as a doctor, as a medical person, as a businessman, as a graphic artist. I know how to provide my skills and my subset to help with the situation, right? And the difference here is that an actual Nigerian made this story. An actual Nigerian made this narrative who cares about it. It isn't porn for him. It isn't him chasing views. It isn't him chasing, the extra. It's just someone who loves his country, someone who wants better for his country, but someone who doesn't hide anything from those watching, but at the same time too, that knows that the focus needs to be, how do we get out? How do we move forward? Right? And Tayo, this piece does a phenomenal job. And if you got anyone asking, anyone who's trying to defend Indigo Traveler, trying to defend Christmas List, send them this to say, hey, this is how it can be done. Number one, it's by us, a Haitian, a Nigerian, a Ghanaian. Number one, I'm sorry, the requirement needs to be anyone doing a story about the pains of another country, it needs to be from that person, from that country. I'm sorry, period, point blank. Because no one can understand a Haitian. I can't. I'll never understand Nigerian. I can go there, live there. I'm not Nigerian. I need to hear it from a Nigerian who can help me understand it at the truest authentic level. Period. It's fatiguing, man. It's fatiguing. It's fatiguing. But we just gotta keep pushing. And I think one thing that's SeeJeanty has allowed me to see is there's, the views don't count. I know there's a lot of quality folks doing a lot of quality things in Haiti, and one thing, this has been an instrument of connecting with quality, right? And so I'm appreciative of that. Appreciative of that tremendously. Beyond that, we've been at this for over 2 hours, 15 minutes. I think I might have to wrap this up, right? I think, this live, I hope you guys, if you have any questions about it, please, any questions that you guys really want to know, throw it up. I'll try to answer it really quick, right? But I want you guys to walk away from this live. Hope you guys have a better understanding of the situation in Haiti right now. I hope you guys walked away with a better understanding of the way forward, how to keep hope, what's going to come out of this. I hope that you guys, understand the incentives of these misery tourists and the importance of supporting a channel like mine, a channel like Rudy B's, a channel like Abed JL, a channel like Découvrir Gandas, a channel like Paradis Gandas, a channel like Sakat Fet Okap, and of course, excuse me if I'm forgetting any others. If you guys know any others, channels that are doing really great work, providing a more complex perspective of Haiti, please drop that in and share that. But it's important that we control our narrative, control our stories, and we drive that change we want to see. Because at the end of the day, we won't get anywhere by allowing CNN, Fox News, Vice News, these misery tourists tell our stories for us. It needs to be us telling our stories, right? Because only we can tell our stories the way they should be told. Right? Let's see. Fernand Estimé goes, can someone buy state-owned land in Haiti? It happens all the time. Usually, officially, the right way it should be done is when the government itself commissions that. But what happens, honestly, is that folks know what is government land and what is private land, and they'll just squat it. And the current constitution has it set up to where if you live on a certain amount of land for so long, even if it's government or not, it can be your land. You get some legal priority to that, right? And so that's just the squatting aspect. But in terms of buying it, I mean, usually, for example, the area for a while, the area Titanya, which is government land, was being sold. And if you were, it wasn't that hard to find someone connected to that sale, and you can buy it, and ultimately you're buying it from the government, right? So that happens, right? But in most cases, it's usually some chicanery happening that causes the government to lose the Haitian land that they have. Hope that answers your question there. Hassana Group goes, do you see the conditions improving in Haiti anytime soon? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, next week, next week will be, you'll be like, what? There was riots here. I mean, obviously there'll be some dubious on the streets and stuff, but life will go on. I think the biggest thing I had to learn about doing business in Haiti is that, when things are bad, they're bad. Like it's like you ever been in a hurricane? I live in South Florida. I don't know anyone where you guys are watching me from, but I live in South Florida. And when you're in a hurricane, like you don't think there's anything that ever existed before the hurricane. The amount of rain and wind, and you have this moment of fear. Like, what is this? It's never going to end. The amount of water that's coming down, it's like it's a deluge, and you don't think there's anything beyond that. But then guess what? The rain stops, and it's nice. For nice smell, fresh of green grass. Green water. Cool. It's usually cool because the sun has been out a little bit. I'm not even talking about eye of the storm stuff. I'm just saying it's usually nice, right? To the point where you're like, wow, there was a hurricane here. You just experienced it. And I can say that for myself. Being in Haiti, doing business in Haiti since 2017, most of it in Haiti. I'm doing more stateside stuff now simply because my company, Hyper Distribution, our revenue is on this side, and so I'm helping grow this side of the business more, than I have to, because most of my infrastructure is in Haiti, and I built a fantastic team. So great, thankfully, I don't have to be in Haiti as much as I used to be, right? But I'm still there, a good chunk of the month each month. As I'm talking to you now, for example, I'm stateside. It's I'm tired. Yeah, I'm forgetting my train of thought. I'm tired. We're about to wrap up soon. In any case, the amount of time I've been there is 2017. Mostly full time, vast majority, 100%, no move back and forth, right? In Haiti, I've seen it bad. I've seen pay lock. I've seen power outages that last, blackouts that last months, without a drop of power. I mean, you name it, I've seen it, right? I've been in shootouts, not in general, but like driving through Matissa. I've been in shootouts. Something like, but what I realize is at the end of each incredibly disastrous time, it's bad for a week. And then for the next few months, business as usual. It's bad for a week. And the next few months, next couple months, it's business as usual. Right? And that's just the reality. I mean, that's the biggest thing I've learned. I've forced myself to remind myself things are bad, but it won't stay this bad. Now, is it trending upwards or is it trending downwards? That's maybe the better question to ask is, Chris, are things trending upwards or are they trending downwards? Sadly, they're trending downwards. You understand? From 2017 to 2022, every single year has been in general worse from a macroeconomic perspective than the year before. At a microeconomics perspective, they've been fine for me. My business has been growing. I've made more profit in Haiti than I have the year before. From a micro perspective, I've made the necessary changes in my businesses and how I do my businesses to ensure that I'm successful in moving forward, right? What I'm saying is in general, things have been getting worse, and, trending downwards. But specifically myself, to answer your question, do I see improving conditions? Again, it just depends on what level you're talking about. If you're talking about the micro level, I'll make what the conditions are almost irrelevant, because I'll make the changes necessary for my businesses, for my employees, to ensure that my investments are secure and I move forward, I make more money. So whatever the micro, I'll make it good because I'm me. I'm a businessman here to win by any means necessary, positively, to limits, of course. But at a macroeconomics perspective, do I see conditions improving? No. We don't have the political leaders in place yet. We're not doing the right things. We're not investing in the right things at a government level. We're not. Too many of our best and smartest entrepreneurs and business people are leaving the country, are not investing in the first place. No. But I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop doing SeeJeanty Media. I'm not going to stop talking to you about what needs to be done, because eventually they have to get done, because they will get done, because the country can only move forward when they get done. So great questions. I appreciate that. Great question. Did you watch Joseph Lambert's address yesterday? Do you think you can move forward with it? No. He's part of the same minutia of terrible politicians. In 2021, I spent the year in Jacmel, starting 2 major ventures. Okay, a commercial bakery and industrial chicken farm. And Jacmel is a beautiful place to visit, be a tourist, but when you live there, you see a different side of it, and you see the level of lack of investment, lack of road work. Trash isn't as bad as it is in other places, but it's still bad, and there's a lot of things that could be done in Jacmel to make it prettier, to make it more accommodating. And I see Joseph Lambert doing a lot of great business ventures himself. He has a chicken farm himself. He has a water, operation that provides water. Camion Gros, I think guys folks who live in Haiti know what I'm talking about. He has a Camion Gros business. For a while he had an ice business too, where he was selling ice, small ice blocks. He has a lot of different little. I think he has a gas station. I take that back. I don't remember if he had a gas station, but he has a lot of different businesses, right? So he's doing fine, right? But the energy he puts into his businesses as a senator, I wasn't able to go anywhere to see a public work that is associated with Joseph Lambert. When you go to the pier in Jacmel, the Laku, New York is what they call it, right? And you see what Matili did. Matili did this really nice sidewalk with all these little mosaic on the boardwalk for Jacmel. And you go there, and everyone can tell you, oh yeah, that was Matili and Minister of Tourism Vildouin who did this. Really good stuff, really good work. You can see that's a public work that is attributable to a politician, like Matili or not. He did that. I can't go anywhere in Jacmel, and this Lambert guy has been in power forever, that I can say, oh, that's Lambert. That's Lambert did that. Lambert did that park. He made moves to make that park. Lambert made moves to make sure that school exists. Lambert made moves see that hospital over there? That hospital wouldn't exist if it wasn't for Lambert. You know what Lambert had to do? Lambert had to do this to get that hospital going. I did an episode on St. Louis du Sud, right? And you saw the magistrat. I'm so sorry, I forget his name. Sorry, brother. But you just Google SeeJeanty St. Louis, like saying like Kansas, St. Louis, DUSUD. right? And you see the work this magistrat is doing. Edwin Sayan, Edwin Sayan, I want to say Edwin Sayan, something. This man is doing to build a canal. I mean, most of that canal was done with him, just his efforts, leveraging external donors, the little zing of money that the city, the state gave him, for public work budget. And then of course I helped, raise a tremendous amount. You helped, me putting up something, you guys watched and you donated a lot to help with the canal project. And as I'm talking to you right now, I want to say like 95% done. It's not 100%, but it's like 95%, just about enough of it's done to where it's been a tremendous help for the community. That's something that you can go to see in the student and like, who did? That's Magistrat Seejan who did that. Magistrat did that. How are you going to be a politician for as long as he's been a politician? And I can't go to Jacmel right now, and you can't tell me one thing that clown has done for his area, for Jacmel. One thing that clown has done. But you're going to sit here and tell me he's making a press conference to do something, for the better of, and you think that clown has any real ambition to improve anything for anyone in the country except for himself? Come on, man. Come on, man. Don't do that. Don't do that. Joseph Lambert's a part of this minutia of trash and filth that has caused Haiti to be where it is right now. That's why when I heard that some of these manifestationers were going around, and I heard some of them were targeting houses of politicians, I was happy. I was like, yeah, about damn time. We know where they live. Let's go after them. Get these clowns out. And most of these clowns are hiding out right now. Not even in Haiti. They're hiding out with their wives and kids in Miami and Montreal, right? In Dominican Republic. They're not even there. Listen, I'm not one to advocate terrorism. I'm not. But if their homes were burnt, I don't think a tear would come from me. Let me just double check as I'm saying it. Is there a tear? That's all I'm saying. Next question. Does your book provide information on how to purchase land and property? I talk about real estate, different opportunities in the real estate. I have videos actually on SeeJeanty. You type in SeeJeanty real estate, and actually I have a video that really breaks down, because I bought land in Haiti, and so I have a bit of a guide in video form actually. So type in SeeJeanty real estate, and you'll be able to see that video. In fact, I probably can do something for you really quick. All right, I can just to show you what I mean. SeeJeanty real estate, and that's for my WhatsApp group. I'm sure you guys saw that. Let's see. Here it is. Buying land in Haiti. Everything you need to know. Buying land in Haiti. Everything you need to know. You know what I'm saying? Right there. Right, and right there, right behind you and me is my land being worked on. It's a lot different now than what it was. That whole area is a lot different now than what it was. I think once I started building, like the whole area started building. It's crazy. All right. So there you go. Just go check it out. I'll drop the link here. I'll share it. I'll drop it in the chat. Okay. Feel free to take a look, watch that. Hope that helps you. Okay. All right. What else? How can I get a Haitian passport as a Haitian descendant? Long story short, your local consulate can help with that. I encourage you to, if you're really interested, join the WhatsApp group. Join the WhatsApp group. We have folks in the group that have done it, who will gladly break down how they did it, and they've helped others get their passport. For those who want to join the WhatsApp group, and so help support what we're doing here at SeeJeanty Media. There's a link. Hope to see you in there. Okay. But the long story short, I'm not trying to paywall you or anything. Just the short answer is more fortune is go to your local consulate, the nearest one, and just knock on the door and just ask them, hey, how can you help me get a Haitian passport? Right? That's the best answer I give you. Okay. That's the last question I see here is, how's the mayor of Delmar holding up? Any news? Delmar, Delmar isn't too affected. Some of the businesses are being pillaged in Delmar only because, with Delmar, the main artery railroad cuts through there, right? But it's not necessarily a vindication against how Delmar is being run. I think Delmar is one of the few places that are run well in Haiti. Relatively pretty clean. You can infrastructure work. Within the past, most of Delmar that you see today, 100% is attributable to Wilson Jeanty. 100%. The roads, the cleanliness. Even 10 years from now, most of Delmar was just dusty roads, backwoods, undeveloped. And you go into Delmar now, you thought Delmar was always like this. Wrong. One person is attributed to making Delmar what it is right now, and that's Wilson Jeanty. And if Haiti worked the right way, I can tell you, if Haiti worked the right way, Wilson Jeanty would be a serious contender for president. Because he's a person who has a real track record of development, a real track record of, you can say, okay, Wilson Jeanty did that. He did that. Wilson Jeanty, he did that. If it wasn't for him, he wouldn't be here. Let's see. Make sure I gotta grab any other questions. Okay. All right. So I think that's it. That's the last bit, right? That's the last bit, right? All right. So I want to thank you guys. We had a great live today. I really hope I added some value to the conversation. What's happening? My goal of getting on today, I really shouldn't even got on today. I got so much to do with the baby, even the wife and baby at home. I got to go back. And, and by the way, let me answer this. Here you go. Question. And again, for folks, and again, the WhatsApp group I put on screen. Go to SeeJeanty.com and then you'll see it. SeeJeanty.com and then /private WhatsApp group. And you'll be able to join. You can have a lawyer in there who provides, if you have legal questions, how things get done. We have a lawyer in that chat who can. I got to update because I used to have oh no, she's still in there. Oh no, I'm still referencing a particular lawyer that's no longer part of it. We have a better lawyer now. I got to fix that. I'm gonna fix that right after I forgot for live. Let me put a little note. Update. Join screen with the new lawyer. The new good lawyer. That old lawyer wasn't really doing much. New good lawyer. But anyways, yeah. So that's the link there. Feel free. But yeah, let me get back. I get back to the wife and kids. Wife and kid. But really hope I help to shine a light on things. Look out for the OCOP series. We still have a lot of episodes to produce. We got a little slow down a little bit because of what's happened recently in Haiti. But we're going to be right back at it. And we keep pushing. I want to thank everyone who supports Hyper Distribution, who buys from us, who looks for our products, who buys on Amazon. I want to thank you and appreciate you. And we're going to keep doing it. That's what we're about here at SeeJeanty Media. We are just about part of that deeper perspective of Haiti, and we're going to keep doing that. Remember, guys, we do have a book out. Feel free, grab that book. So once again, it's also at SeeJeanty, SeeJeanty.com. You go to SeeJeanty.com and you type in shop, SHOUP, and similarly, you'll be able to see get access to that book. You know what I mean? And the book 101 Ways to Make Money in Haiti, Lucrative Business Ideas, Insightful Success Stories, and Interesting Business Opportunities for Visionary Entrepreneurs. Right? Feel free to grab that. For those who are looking to continue this conversation, this doesn't have to end just because we're ending the live. This is a very active comment section. I love the conversations that are going back and forth. Right? To keep that up, please join that group and keep the conversations going. Drop a question. Let's keep this sort of deeper dive conversation going for more than just one day out the month. We owe it to ourselves for that, right? Remember hyperdistribution.com, hypro. This was I'm sure this was the C Action Group, SeeJeanty Action Group is the Facebook, okay, and hyperdistribution.com. Do check it out. We're doing some great stuff. We're at 2 containers a month now, doing some great stuff. Pretty soon we'll be doing a container a week. Doing some great things. Pushing hundreds of thousands of dollars of revenue. Doing some great things. Just proving that there is demand for our products. And if there was more of this going on, we'd be much further along as a country. But while others, imitate failed practices, I know what needs to be done, and we're gonna get it done by doing it the right way, by getting our products, supporting farmers, supporting producers in the country, and getting our product out to the world. Okay. And of course, Week on Haiti, I'm going to be out there in October, having a deeper conversation on the business environment in Haiti. I look forward to meeting you guys face to face there. If you guys choose to come along and be there, there should be a live there as well. If there's going to be a live, I'll make sure to share it on YouTube and Facebook and etc. But I do hope to see you guys there. We're going to have a really great conversation. What it means to be in Haiti and doing business in Haiti. Right? We're going to be out there. Right? So that's it. That's the live. I want to thank you so much to have joined me, for this session. And you guys are real MVPs. I know there's guys who were here from the very moment I started this live to where it's ending right now, 2 hours and 40 minutes ago. It's real easy to talk for 2 hours plus. So it's harder to listen. So for those who were around that whole time, you guys are real MVPs. Guys, I want to thank you. I appreciate you. And we'll be back at it again when we're back at it again. Peace.